Alright, general updates. I am not dead. And I am playing with help because my world is still upside down for about 20 more-ish days. And then hopefully I can return to regularly scheduled recording plans. I have lots of good stuff. Don't leave me. Please don't leave me. Today I will be playing Oxygen Not Included with Tao of D&D, my almost willing victim.
Yeah, it's pretty almost willing.
Yeah, that's how I label all my guests now. They are almost willing victims.
It is the way to go. Trust me, I have tried all sorts of victimhood, and this is the one I picked.
This is the victimhood.
This is the one.
And Gun Bunny, G.u.n.n, Bunny! I love Oxygen Not Included, but I haven't played in like a year, and even before then, I played this in alpha when I started, and then I got you into it.
You got me into it, and it's addictive. I hardly ever play this game. It's just 3,000 hours.
You are a million times better, which is why I'm getting him to play it, because if I play this for the channel by myself, I'll be like, I don't know what this does. Let's try and make it happen. He knows what most of it does. So,
yeah, there's large parts I don't care about.
I will not be playing with this tool. Alright, so we're going to get started. Alright, so we have decided that we're both really familiar with the frozen ice ball of death. And we don't care about the small boulders. Tao likes the metal rich. Alternate pod location doesn't mean anything to either of us. And large glaciers actually really helps with the water, which is something I always have trouble with this map, but you seem to have figured out, and we'll talk about that.
It's always thin on this map, but sometimes you get lucky. I hope we get lucky.
Alright, so off we go. Who are we taking?
Alright, well, my particular favorites is to have one builder and one farmer and one researcher. I've tried it with different combinations, and I like to pick somebody who has a 7 in the thing and no bad traits at all, because cannot do cooking errors. That's okay, but all of these don't care about them. What I just want to see this 7 construction thing. Because if it's too nice, then you get this floral scent one, and wow, do I ever hate that. I don't want the decreased calories. Just keep trying until...
I will find a person!
Alright, see? Now there, I want a builder, and I don't want any... He's not going to do any doctor, she's not going to do any doctoring errands anyway, so that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. And then we'll go find... Some of these are new,
I haven't seen.
Oh, I skipped that one. Missed it entirely. I'm going too fast here.
Slow.
Alright, cannot do doctoring errands. That's fine. Eventually I'll get a doctor. So...
The bottomless stomach and the sleep one. Those are the two that are the worst for me.
I like the sleep one. Okay, and then it's a science, cannot do cooking errands. That's not really good because... It might be a while before I get a good cook, so the doctor's role is going to be to act as a cook if I don't get one, so it can't take the no cooking errors. There we go. Cannot do doctoring errands. There.
No one is a doctor.
I'm not going to need a doctor
it's okay.
for a long time.
This is a non-boo-boo base. There shall be no boo-booing.
Okay. And I think we will call the colony... Cassiopeia.
Oh, it's such a nice name. I usually name it like Rat Ball 4.
I personally feel that all planets should be named after classical characters or people.
Alert! I've woken at the target location, but colonization efforts have already hit a hitch. I was supposed to land on the planet's surface, but became trapped many miles underground instead. Although the conditions are not ideal, it is imperative that I establish a colony here and begin mounting efforts to escape. I never give a shit. I have gone to space once, and I literally did a follow along to figure out how to do it.
I don't play this game to escape the planet. I definitely do not.
No, neither do I.
So, the first thing we need something to build with, so we'll just get them started.
Dirt.
Right away.
Dirt don't hurt.
And the first things I like to build are the wash basin here. And then I'm going to want 3 outhouses. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, you only got 2 in there.
I got 2 there. All right, so let's get that third wash house in. There, 3. And then we're going to build our other wash basin. And I don't pay any attention whatsoever to the organization of the map at this point.
Oh, the compulsiveness in me right now is already losing my mind. I'm like sinking the basins, moving this. It's okay. We made it through 2 Point Hospital together. I can do this.
So right away, I want to build. Oh, I don't want to go quite that far down. I want to start building my tank. I know a lot of people do it differently, but the first thing I want to do is start building my tank. And
for your water.
For my water. I want to separate all of these out so that this is all neatly 4 and 4, because I like my whole base. I'm very, very particular about this sort of thing. You can call me any of those names you wish to call me, but I am very particular.
It's okay. I enjoy the particularness. It makes me feel less, concerning.
All right. Now that I've got that located, I want to put an extra space here because eventually along this line, I'm going to want to put my fireman's pole. And then I'm going to want to break into this, clean this out, and I'm going to put the priority to 6 now on this section so that they'll come over and work on it. And come over and get my beds ready. But I can't put beds in right now because...
You got stuff in the way.
I got stuff in the way.
So the original reason I found this game is I am a very long time, someday maybe play it for the channel, Don't Starve player. I'm not spectacular because I'm terrible at playing games with motive. But I did find my way to this, and it's such a... I always call it the happy ants. You're playing the happy ants game. Because they're mostly happy ants until they suffocate, fall into lava, etc. You're much better at keeping your ants alive. I begin graveyard.
I am particular about keeping them alive. I don't like them to die at all. It makes me sad. It makes them sad, and I feel like it's a way to, it's an indication that I've somehow lost the game. So I don't like to.
Don't get me wrong. I don't chuck my ants into the lava, but you go back 10 turns to save an ant. I will not.
I will. And if I can't save an ant, I will start the game over again. That's how bad I get. You will notice that I put these little lips. This is because of Gun Bunny here. She suggested this, and it works great. And I never see anybody online who plays this game do it. But this keeps your water in. It keeps the water from spreading out from one place to another. And it's absolutely brilliant.
It's mandatory. You just need it. Though it never fails. If one of these guys pees their pants, it's off the edge into your water. It's the rules.
Absolutely. So now that they've got toilets and now that they've got beds, nothing else really matters except I've got to get rid of this thing. I'd love to keep it, but it won't last that long anyway, and right now it's going to keep them awake. So we just have to... Somebody's going to have to come over and kill it.
We have to unalive the shine bug.
If I could get it out of the room, that'd be great, but these guys are building so slowly at this point, I'm never going to get it out of the room in time before I run out. The cycle is almost done, and I've got to get these guys going, and obviously somebody's got to be told to go do this. So this is your priorities list. So let's go make pay, kill this guy. And there, combat.
Combat!
They all run in and kill it.
I love the alert combat on the side. Can I borrow this for half a second?
Absolutely.
I'm just going to kill all your little sub-tutorials here. There we are.
Certainly. And now they can go back to building. They can go back to building this thing. And I'm going to want to build this all the way across to here. Because I'm going to make my tank right under here. Oh, I can't quite do that yet because
I was like, I think we need more infrastructure.
I need to close this off at the bottom first so that it doesn't run out.
I was having I think you need more infrastructure moment there. But sometimes when you don't want to, like, besmirch someone's plan, you're just so on, like, yeah, okay.
Well, I can dig out to there for the time being. There's only so many dupes that can fit into a space. So you've got to make space. You've got to give them multiple tasks so they're not all on top of each other, or they'll stand around and do nothing. But I'm not rushing to get somebody researching yet. I'm not rushing to do a lot of things. I'm not even rushing to get air going, because there's
you start with lots of oxalite.
It'll be plenty of time before I really need to worry about air. So I've got 3 or 4 turns to start to get this under control, because I find that the water is very maintaining the water, and especially in this game when so much of the water comes in the form of ice. If I can find a place that shows it. See over
Where's
here.
Some dirty ice or regular ice?
Here's some regular ice, but you'll notice it's got this wavy pattern. This says that it's sort of melting, and if you look at it, it's only, I play in Fahrenheit, it's only 20 degrees Fahrenheit. It's not frozen solid.
If you're going to play in Fahrenheit, you're going to tell my audience what that is in Celsius. just give them a rough idea.
It's below freezing, because Celsius is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. I play in Fahrenheit not because I'm old and not because I'm American or anything like that, but because
you're mean.
No, because I find that 19.9 Fahrenheit is far more precise than 19.9 Celsius. Because Celsius 19.9 is a far bigger stretch across the thermometer than 19.9 Fahrenheit. The reality is it doesn't matter what. You shouldn't matter in your head whether or not you're playing Fahrenheit or Celsius, because you're really just comparing one temperature to another. So you just have to think, okay, well, 70 Fahrenheit is about approximate what you want as a design. Anything above 130 Fahrenheit is too dangerous for the zoo.
Everyone is cooking. People are cooking to the pavement.
And water freezes at 32 Fahrenheit. It can get colder because it takes a lot of energy to make water freeze, and it takes a lot of energy to make water thaw. So it doesn't thaw until, in this game, 36.4 or 36.5 Fahrenheit. So you have to really get the water up above freezing. In Celsius, that would be about 2.1, 2.2. But like I say, the Fahrenheit is a much narrower measure, so that's why I use the Fahrenheit.
Courtesy of this game, I had to get a lot better at Kelvin, which required me to get Static Squirrel to explain things in Kelvin.
Kelvin.
Cal. I thought it was Cal.
It's Kelvin. It's named after the German scientist who established it, and the bottom limit of Kelvin is absolute zero, which is minus 273 degrees Celsius. I'm not sure what it is in Fahrenheit, which is the point at which all molecules stop moving. So that's the purpose for
when
Kelvin.
You deal with the lava on the bigger level and you play the magma planet, it is really, really relevant and super, super helpful, but I am not sciencey. Calvin versus Kelvin. Does it show? Does my science skill show?
I can see how Kelvin would help a lot with the magma. I don't like to play that map, but I can see how that would be beneficial.
It was when I was making the rule that I was going to try all the maps, when I found out I liked this map so much. But yes, Static Squirrel, being a math person, was then forced to give me a science lesson in a big way.
So now I have to waste my time and create schedules, because you don't want them all going to the bathroom and doing things at the same time. You like to stagger them. The way I like to stagger them is this here is the downtime. This is the time they spend getting back to getting some food and getting back to base. So I'm going to stagger them that way, and then I'm going to stagger the bedtime so that they're like this. And then I'm going to stagger the bathroom time they spend in the morning so it's like that. And then I'm going to stagger the work so that they're not all going, they're not all going to the bathroom at the same time. And this little thing over here tells you what time of day it is.
I don't know if you've ever done this, but when your base gets really broken up, you add one more point of space to their bathroom time.
Yeah, because it takes them so
long to get there.
To get back that you want to add space. It also reduces their stress to add space. We don't have to worry about that now. Now I like to call this engineering, because it's where I put the builders and the diggers. And I like to call this science.
Oop, you're off it.
I'm off it. All right, science and art. And then I like to call this one farming.
The creepy farmers.
So
they farm at night.
I think Trivaldo is my scientist, and Rowan. I think Rowan is my scientist, and then Trivaldo is my farmer. I have to go over and look at the skills.
Hats.
All right, so you can see pay over here. You can see the construction is 7 and everything else is 0. That's my builder. Okay, Rowan is my scientist, so I did eventually get it right, I think. I have to go back and check. So he's got 7 in science, and he's not bad at
You did get it right. And then Trivaldo is
then Trivaldo is 7 in agriculture and 3 in strength. So
hats, please.
Well, I can't put on any hats because they don't have any skills yet.
I thought you got hats to start.
No, you don't get hats to start. You have to get skills. So because at this moment they have skill points, they don't have any of these, and I can't give them a hat until they have any of these. She's used to playing the beta game, whereas this is the alpha game.
Oh no, I'm used to playing the alpha game, and you're in full release.
Oh, see,
I think I made it to beta.
I may know what Kelvin is, but I don't know games. So
yeah.
You explain the difference between beta and alpha. Go ahead.
Okay, so this game went through about a bajillion renditions, and any Clay game is still continuously going through revisions because they don't leave things alone. And although I have played this in full release, I mostly played this between alpha and beta. And there were lots of things as they came that were fully released and then readjusted as things went on. So I maybe played in a time where you didn't get hats right away, but I definitely played in a time where you got hats immediately because that's what Clay was playing with. You played a little bit in beta because I know when you bought it, but you're so acclimatized to the fully released game. You're definitely the expert over that than me.
Oh, God, this is awful. This is all the water we have.
Right on. Who needs water? I suggest you put a drain in the floor when we pop the thing above us. You're going to have to pop them both.
All right, so we're going to get rid of that.
Wow. No water for you. None. Nothing.
And we're going to put in a pitcher pump. And I have a technique with this. Because the water runs out, and show he's going to build this pitcher pump. So otherwise he would be trapped. The dupes build in the sense that they go out on the limb of the tree and then they cut the limb behind them. And then they can't get back and they die of starvation.
They are always stuck. Dupe trapped is probably the most common.
So you will notice this does not reach the bottom. So the way to deal with that is as the water level changes, you build one. You want this one as close to the door as possible so that they can get in and out as fast as possible. But eventually the water's going to run out. So you build a second one that staggers down to get to the bottom of it so that if there's only enough water at the bottom, then they can go down to the second
That's
one.
nice. I've never done this system. Where you steep them down.
And now we can finish cleaning this up, and we can finish cleaning that up, and we can let the water in.
Now run to the end of the tree branch and everybody drown.
So they're just going to dig that there. There's a lot of time you spend in this game where you don't really do anything.
Through the magic of editing, my audience is saved. Because they just get to see everything in speed.
I'm doing everything in slow motion, so we can just speed this up. I do tend to play too much of the game in slow motion, not because I can't handle it at this speed, although there's less warning that a dupe is going to die at this speed. But because I find this game very relaxing,
it is.
and
It's
comforting,
just a calm.
It's for the most part, it's a non-stress game. And I'm old. I don't like to play stress games anymore.
I don't play
I'm not a
stress
shooter
games,
person.
and I'm not as old as you. Cozy games with self-directed wins. That's what I'm in it for, and you're no better. That's why you were directed to this cozy, non-directive game.
No, I'm definitely no better. That is for sure. So I'm going to want to build that, and eventually I'm going to want to build stairs all the way down on this side, but not yet. And I will plan the stairs that are going to come. Oh, but except, see over here where the stair is on the right and the space is on the left. I have that issue. I have that issue. We're not going to name the issue because that's bad. It's like calling Beetlejuice 3 times. So we're not going to name the issue. But let's just say we.
Those are the words I'm saying too often to the YouTube. I'm Beetlejuicing YouTube.
I don't really have that issue, but I am very particular, and the precision is beneficial. There's nothing wrong with being precise. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to build up a pump and pump this out because this is just too much trouble.
Well, it just takes energy and time unnecessarily as well.
So if I build the sandstone tiles in here, it forces the water up into the place where I want the water to be,
and it'll roll down. And
it takes less time, and later on I can just pull it all out again. So it's much more practical than constantly digging pumps and electricity wires. You notice I haven't made even some metal yet. I can get a little bit of metal off that.
You have some because you cleaned out some coming down.
Yeah, there's some copper ore over here that's 7.2. See, they did that just fine. So let's have them do it again. I don't need that one because the sand covers that. And let's have them do this as well. So that, because we want to force the water from right to left, because the end of our tank is going to be right here. So we want to get all the water over on this side. And now this is starting to get full. So let's dig more tank over here. And they'll just go out, cheerfully go underwater and build more tank.
Everybody's cold. The water is cold.
And there we go. We're getting a nice move to the water. It's all moving over.
I've never done this. This is different. Good different. But I've never thought to do this way.
I've never seen anybody online do it this way either. They all go overboard and build everything. And this last bit I'm going to have to wipe up. But that's okay. So let's keep this moving across. And now I'm going to slow down while we pick a new blueprint. So we have another guy who can't do doctor. And he's just the sort I want, because I want somebody who's going to move stuff for me. Yeah, I need somebody to clean up. I need somebody to plunge the toilets and so on and so forth. So we are going to pick Ashkin here, and we're going to get him started. Even has an increased construction, which is very nice.
Now, would you normally go into your priorities and increase his priority?
Yeah, I was just about to do that. I'm going to give him a bed first, because at this time, he doesn't have a bed. And then I'm going to go over and make a new schedule specifically for him, and we will, again, stagger this out.
Because I've seen other players, they don't make that adjustment right away.
No, I was definitely going to do that. I like to call... Oops, I hit the wrong button. I like to call this one housekeeping. And then Ashkan can come down and be in housekeeping.
Nice.
And he can't go to sleep yet because he doesn't have a bed, but he just arrived.
Now, that was schedule. I meant priority.
Yeah,
you change his priority?
Here's the priority. Now, what I like for him is I don't want him doing any attacking. These guys can attack. That's fine. but I don't want him. I want him concentrating on life support, and everybody, because this drives me crazy, everybody has to be high toggling.
Now, what is toggling?
Toggling is when you tell them that you want them to stop something or start something, and to enable a machine or disable a machine, you can send them over to do that. So I want him to toggle. I accidentally hit the toggling button, so I moved everybody around. Okay, so I want him to tidy, and I don't want any of these guys to cook because they don't have any cooking skill.
Yeah.
And I don't want any of them to
decorate anything.
Decorate, because they haven't that either. These guys can all doctor. That's fine. We can leave the doctor at standard.
No, remember they can't doctor.
This is automatic.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to get Rowan up on top, and his second one will be operations, and Pei is going to just dig and build, and Travaldo here, when he gets around to it, is going to farm and ranch. But we were doing him. I don't want him researching either. He can do operations, but we're going to leave it at standard priority. I don't want him farming. I don't want him ranching. I don't really want him building, but because we're in the beginning, we'll let him do that. And then I want him supplying. And right now, the most important thing I want him to do is store. Because you see all this detritus lying on the ground? This all makes everything ugly.
Yeah, and it makes everybody miserable.
So I want to get him to... I want to build a storage bin somewhere convenient, but only temporary. Because I'm going to move them further along. Let me go show you the temperature. It is cold. Everything is very, very cold. All this blue and so on. We have this small kind of warm area, but even over here where Ashen is going to be sleeping is really cold. This is like 10 degrees Celsius, and it's all very unpleasant. What we really want to do is, when we pick up all this stuff, which is also ice cold, we're going to want to move it further and further and further out of our base as we expand our base, because otherwise it's like having an open refrigerator in one corner.
Oh yeah, you're just rolling frozen meat all over your...
So wherever we build these storage bins for the time being, it's a temporary arrangement. We're going to want to
just imagining lining your home in bags of frozen peas.
This sand thing is an issue. When you knock one of these off,
all the sand rolls
down. See, this sand is going to roll down, and this is fine here because they're going to chew it out while they're doing it. But this will fall and get in the way of other equipment, and if it falls, see, like that, it'll make it so that the equipment doesn't work, and then you have to...
I hate late game because I won't notice it.
See, up here it says building entombment, okay? And so you have to get rid of this so that the building can work. And we're still on slow. And they're not doing anything. So let's have them come over here and just clean up this water. And that'll give them something to do. Because we've got our tank pretty much in the right place now. Now, this allows us to put... These are all divided up, but we're going to put all our agriculture. And for a consumable ore, I'm only going to put the coal here, because ultimately I'm not going to want to put bleach stone in here because it leaks chlorine. And so I want to make sure that it doesn't, because when I press agriculture here, everything else that's agriculture will automatically add to agriculture.
Yeah, because right now all you see is what you have currently interacted with.
So I'm going to want all the critter eggs, and I'm going to want all the cultivatable soil, and the filtration, and the metal ores, but not the organic, because some of this leaks polluted oxygen.
I always keep things like my bleach stone and my organic and things like that underwater.
Yeah, so right now I'm not... algae's fine. You can keep algae above water, but I have another use for the organic, which hopefully we'll get to today. And then we can take all our raw material and all our seeds. We just have a few... I don't know how many blossom seeds. Apparently we have some. Blossom seeds are very important to me. I don't like I don't like well, we'll get to that. We will talk. I'm getting to agriculture, so we will talk about that soon.
We will get there when we build food, which is how I always like to frame these things.
So let's start first here by finishing this off, and we can
get your tank done.
We can dig this down and get the tank done, and then I'm going to put a lip on the edge of 2 of these so that if something happens in here, it doesn't spoil my tank water. And now I'm going to get, I have enough, so let's get an oxygen diffuser here. And we're going to start making power.
Rat wheels for the win.
So we'll get that and a couple of batteries. And we'll build out this tile area and dig this hole out.
See, now I've gone so far as to put my batteries between my beds to warm up my beds.
You can do that, but the water from the tank, water loses temperature with great difficulty. So if we can maintain this water at 51 degrees, in the end, it's going to keep our base warm enough to be comfortable. Unfortunately, we have to also do this other annoying thing. And actually, I'm going to need a little bit more tank here. So we're going to dig this down a little deeper to there and over and correct that tail. And then we're going to take this down and we're going to take the top of that off, because we need to get this water here before it freezes in this tank down here.
Yeah, I usually just pop it through a mesh tile.
I don't have any mesh tiles.
Just saying.
They haven't been discovered
I assume you're going to pop a hole in the floor and pop a hole in the floor.
I'm going to pop a hole in the floor here, and then it'll pour right down into this tank here.
Yeah.
But this is already full. So I need to make a bigger hole over here. And then I'm going to need to put a pitcher pump specifically down here.
So you can empty some bottles?
Nope, so that if all of this up top is empty, I can still get water down from here. Okay? So they're building this oxygen diffuser, which we're going to put as a priority of 7, because somebody has to come along and put algae into it. We're also going to make that 6, so that there's always somebody that puts water, but you can see somebody's already put water in it, right? And these guys are filling. Every time somebody goes, this makes a little tick upwards. And he's going to get out, and boom, it ticks. Okay? So they need to have dirt put in them, and they need to be pumped clean, because somebody has to manually come over and pump out the latrine. So we're going to make this a priority 8, because if these don't run, then they piss everywhere all over the map. So we need to make sure that these are always running.
They just juice.
I build 3 of them, not so that they can sustain 3 dupes, but so that one of them is sure to be running.
There must be a toilet available.
Right. And this wash basin has this arrow so that they'll only wash if they're going in this direction.
Yeah, I love the arrows. The arrows are my favorite.
This one's set to go in both directions, so let's change it around so that it only goes to that, and then they'll only wash. Otherwise, they're wasting time washing their hands every time they go by. So this can be copy setting to that. You see, it's already full.
Oh, I've never seen that before. That's nice.
Okay, so this is 5 tons, and this already has 20 tons of stuff in it.
They fill up with sand and dirt very quickly.
Yeah, but notice that this is all clean now. Hooray! Okay, so we have food. We have 23,000 kilograms of food. It's all muckroot and nutrient bars. There are people who like to go in and build this microbe musher.
I do it, but I turn it off and it's my emergency food.
I don't care. It's a waste of time. I have no interest in it at all. What I want to do now that I'm getting this under control, the tank under control, is I want to get my farm going. So I'm going to build this up to the top, and then I'm going to lay out these 3 layers. This one here and this one here.
See, I know you and I do the farms the same way. But it seems like the most obvious way to do the farm, and I don't see a lot of people do them the same.
On this side, I'm going to want to put wheels. I'm going to want to put 1 wheel for every level. And you'll notice I still haven't built any. I still haven't built a research station.
No science. There should be no science in this godforsaken dirt.
I will get to it, but it's not a priority. I'm going to need it before I can do the...
I have never tried. It's like day 2. I've never tried putting it off.
It just isn't... It's needed, but it's not that absolutely required. All right, I'm going to make these a priority so that we get rid of all of that. The thing is because this is the cold map, you want to put the research station down towards the bottom of the map, and you want to put the kitchen towards the bottom of the map.
Yes, that one.
Because they're both warm, and they will heat everything above them. So they won't do a lot, but they will help to bring up the temperature of everything above them. So I'm going to get the research station done, then I'm going to finish this tank, and then I'm going to build these, and then I'm going to build my farm. And the reason I'm building specifically this one up here is because I need power for the light bulbs that are going to run the blossom, because I'm going to skip muckroot or not muckroot. It's this one here. It's mealwood. Okay. So I will skip the mealwood entirely. I can build mealwood. It's cheap food. It's great. But they will have enough food before I need the mealwood. See right over here? This is food sitting right here on the hoof. I don't have to do anything. I just have to make a priority of 6 and come over there and have them hack that, and boom, I have more food up here. So I've only got 3 dupes. 4. I've got 4 now. So I don't have that much to feed. They'll be fine. They will be absolutely fine. Alright, let's finish this stairwell, and then we're going to build the next floor here. And we're going to build our station, because here's our research station, so that we can give Rowan something to do. And then we're just going to attach our research station to this.
You should put it behind the ladder.
What, on the other side?
No, you can run that cable right behind the ladder, and it actually does less damage, decreasing your...
Well, actually, no, because I hide it with this one, and
and then you do a door.
And then I do a door, so you really only...
No,
if I run it by the ladder, I get all 4 of them, and this way I only get 2.
That's fine.
And I see guys online do the door thing, where they do the door here, and then they do the door there. And if you're doing the screen door, it just makes everything run out. So if this is full of water, and I open this door, all the water runs out. I don't see how that's logical.
I usually end up playing with a lot of metal starvation, because it just ends up being that way, because I take it as it lies. And then I don't build the mesh doors, because the doors are metal.
Well, the other doors are metal too, but...
That doesn't make me make more door.
I tend not to put a door here and here, right?
Yeah.
Because they go back and forth through this middle part all the time, so... The research area will work better and stronger with the door. It'll work better and stronger with a light too. We don't have lights. We haven't researched them yet. So let's kick the speed up of this a little so that we can finish that off. And we'll kick the speed up so that we can, because obviously I'm not doing anything right this second. And I am going to want to come down and finish eating all of this out, but I don't want to cut it, the whole thing out, because they will go out and they will wind up sitting out here or somewhere, and they will trap themselves
and drown.
Drown.
Yes, I've done that before. Then I go back one.
All right, so let's make this a priority now. So then we'll make all that 6. I like to make 6 the high priority because these are 8s. And we're going to make this a 7. And now we're going to research. And the first thing we're going to want to
light bulb.
No, we're going to want to research this farm tile.
Oh, yes, you want the hydro farm.
Yeah, so we can build our farm. So we're going to need that tile first, and then it'll be the light bulb after that. And we'll talk about light bulbs when we get there.
My audience will appreciate your pacing. I often, when I know a game too well, it's good I play very little that I have played to death, because I run down the hill and up the valley and into my neighbor's yard faster than the speed of a duplicate.
I think for the kind of people that enjoy doing puzzles, and for the kind of people who don't need to have something exciting to keep them busy, it's easy enough to look at this and think, all right, what do I want to do next? How do I want to solve this problem? It's much more of an engineering game.
I do think it's an engineer's dream.
I haven't been able to convince an engineer yet to play it. I have pitched it at several people, and they don't have any interest in it. And I don't know why. I don't understand this game from an engineer point of view. I see these guys create these massive or hugely effective, profound machines that do these amazing things that sometimes I've stolen. I found this one guy who made this really good setup for running a hydrogen. You can make air by running water through this hydrogen maker, and it makes air. And it was a really good setup, and I did it for a long time. But in the end, I found it was just a power hog. It just used so much power, it wasn't worth it. Even though it was making hydrogen that you can use to make power, it just seemed like such a waste. And eventually, I found other ways to make it more simply and not like an engineer, and it works better, and it's not a power hog. Because I get to use more of the hydrogen that it produces to make some to use for other things, and not for the self-running system.
I do like that this game promotes making little systems, though. That's what this game is all about.
Great if you can think that way, but I don't think like an engineer. I think like a handyman, and so I really can't make that work for me.
I think like an engineer is close as if an engineer read all his maps upside down. I am the Gilligan to the professor. I'm like, yeah, coconuts radio seems clear to me, and then I start building it backwards.
I'm 100% sure I could build a radio out of coconuts if I absolutely had to, but it would take me months.
I'm gonna need a little copper wire. I'm sorry, it's not gonna be a sole coconut project.
I have water. There must be a way.
Stock Brown. I mean, this is how you get ice, but I don't know if I want ice quite this badly.
An engineer would look at everything and go, I know how to do that in a few minutes. And I'd look at everything and go, well, I'll try everything.
And see how it plays out.
Sooner or later, I'm going to luck into a thing and make it work.
Yeah, I'm there.
So we're going to go research. Now we can jump down here.
Oh, I remember when this used to be so small, and now I have to be like, I don't know where the thing is.
Come in. Okay, so we want the lamp, but eventually we're also going to want this automation stuff. So I'm going to do both. It'll do the lamp first, and then it'll do the automation. And now he's working on that. He'll go research that. And we made that 7. So we'll look at the priority thing. This should be 7 up here because we want people to bring food to it as soon as they possibly can. That should be 7 because that's breathing.
That's the breathing tube.
We want this to be 7 because we want the person to come up and run this little wheel to make these power nozzles go. So that has to be 7 so that these batteries.
Now, can you go to temperature?
Yeah. So if we go to temperature, these batteries do not look like they're producing anything, but if you look at the battery, it says power capacity, heat, 1.25. I can't remember what kDTUs means. I told you, I'm not an engineer. 1.25 is great. A light bulb in this game produces 0.5. So these two together are as powerful as 5 light bulbs.
It doesn't sound like much, but cumulative heat in this game is key.
Well, the nice thing about these is they're not using power, they're storing power. So you can make 50 of them. And it will heat up the area, but for whatever reason, that heat will not spread to your entire base. And so you need another solution.
You have your light bulbs.
You can spread the light bulbs all over, but even they take an enormous amount of time. The best that they're really doing is reducing the loss of heat. There's a constant loss of heat that's flowing out of this overall base. You'll see this is smaller, and this needs some kind of thing to deal with it. All right, we can take a piece out of that right there. It will mean that this printing pod doesn't work while I'm doing it, but I'd rather do the printing pod than the food. And then we can come over here, and I'm gonna have to build
a little bit of stair.
So we'll build that, and then we're gonna make all this required so that they spend their time specifically on that. Because I do want this, but I don't need this until I can get this level.
Yes, it's not as important.
Built. And we have lots of room for water now, so...
you should put that other pitcher pump in before...
this one's doing all right for the time being.
No, you said you were going to put one on the lower end.
Let's put one on the lower end. And that doesn't quite make it to the bottom, so let's put one there as well. And then that goes all the way to the very bottom if we ever get down, if our water ever depletes that much. I think we'll probably get lucky, and there's probably water just off the map here somewhere that we can make use of. The fog of war is spreading out a little bit so that we can see a little further than we see before, but I'm not seeing any water. I'm seeing this frozen ice here, and it's still a little soft, so we want to get to this ice while it's still soft before it hardens, because the general temperature in the area is in Celsius it's about -8, and in Fahrenheit it's 14 degrees below
freezing.
So we want to get to that ice before it's soft, or while it's soft, before it gets hard.
Because it will. That's the thing you don't really get used to in this game. Is it will continue to freeze. It will continue to drop.
Right. So let's put another stair here, because we're getting this sort of drift in the water, and this is going to go over the top here, because it's going to come out fast enough. But that's okay. We're still going to catch it over here, and we're still going to get it where we need it to be. So, I thought I built a stair there. All right, let's build that stair, and let's get that. Let's get that built, because I see. I built the stair here, and that's not where I wanted it. And it's not going to come over the top, so we're fine.
Not quite enough pressure.
And as soon as I get them to come and build that, then we can clean all this up afterwards. We'll also want to get them here, because this little bit of water will collect in there, and we don't want that either. And we'll speed it up again. Alright, well, let's build another person, because that's going to be in
2 cycles. It's every 4, right?
It's every 3. It's really constant. And since this is not going to be a problem anymore, we can run that down, because we're going to want to dig this area out here, and there's a little bit more food and
algae to run the machine.
In this muck root, this buried muck root, so there's a little bit more food there. Do we have lights yet?
You should in furniture.
Yeah, we have lights there. So this, we could put lots of lights in, but the more lights we put in, the more power they use. But ultimately, the research station runs better with light. So lights only take up 10 watts. So they don't take up a lot. your wire here, and we'll go to the wire thing. This wire runs a potential load of 1,000 watts. And right now we're using 200, and that's not including these 2 light bulbs, which are using 10 each. That's the 60 here, and that's the 120 over there. Oh, they did do it, the light bulbs. So altogether we are running 200. So they built this wheel. Let's give them a couple of batteries to attach to it. And then we can attach these light bulbs to those batteries. Sounds horribly boring. Are you sure that this is a good Let's Play video? Here we are. We are attaching light bulbs and batteries.
Hey, I'm not here to judge the ASMR community.
Exciting.
I'm just here to provide. They like to watch me chop wood when I play Stardew Valley. The number of times you guys complain that I'm cutting out wood chopping. You know what? This is what you get. You want wood chopping? Now you're getting step by step.
Step by step wood chopping.
Yeah, well now it's step by step lighting placement.
So we have not quite gotten them over here. They're just not cooperating at all. Can you guys finish cleaning this out, please?
There's something to be said
water runoff
for kind of an idle banter. I think people do Let's Plays too often where they don't just talk out what they're doing, and you're like, just talk it out. What else are you doing at the computer?
We must focus. We must pay attention only to the game. Well, the whole Let's Play concept is a departure because you play games to escape. And if you're talking about the game to people who are listening to the game, you're not escaping. You're focusing on a whole other thing. So you have to have a mindset that will let you both play the game competently, but remember that you're not alone in the room. And then a lot of people cannot do that, even though they really like to make tons of money on the internet. They really don't have the style for that. I'm not sure I do. I don't do this regularly. I am a guest on her program.
I love it, but I find it relaxing. It's kind of like standing up and giving a lecture. Most people think that is a death sentence, and I'm sort of like, yay, show and tell.
I'm going to go with 7 to clean this
Pay
up, just so that they
attention.
don't
Yep.
waste time. And then we can finish. I don't actually want this
Actual
okay.
path.
I need to start there. We have our farm tile now, so I want to leave 2 blank ones for a later machine that we will put in, and then I like to do 5 in a row and a space, and 5 in a row and a space, and then the rest of the row. And later on we will fill this space. We are getting there as fast as we possibly can. So if I want to build lots of food, which I used to do, I would put another layer of food up here, but I found I don't need that.
Well, you don't take duplicates. I remember the last time I played, I made the rule that every time
You had to take a
I had to take a duplicate, and that got crazy. You're like, I have 80,000 in food. Oh, a day has rolled by. I have 14,000 in food. It's very, very intense.
With this map, it is just too difficult to maintain it with too many dupes.
No, the cold is your challenge. You don't need to make fun new problems.
Exactly. So I'm specifically not. I usually get up to about 10 or 11, and then I stop taking dupes. I want to get very specific dupes. The 4th one was the guy who would be doing all the cleanup, right?
Yeah.
But he can't do a cleanup right now because we've run out of storage bins. So let's build a couple more storage bins for him so that he can get back to cleaning up. Because all of this is making more mess. And we can now put a blossom seed. Look, we got 6.
I was going to say, that's nice. I usually have 3.
So we can pick a priority of 7 so that they're urgent for the farmer. And then plant them. And then we can copy the setting there. And we can lay them out. Now, we're only going to want to put a few in for now. I really should be putting them over on this side. Because that will save us time in the long run. So let me go and cancel all of that. Nah, I think I'll actually leave it. I'm going to need to run this power cord all the way across to there. Which means I'm going to have to dig all of this out. And I'm going to dig the sand out first before I dig under. And one of the benefits of doing it this way is that they won't fall through. They won't fall through. And they won't build one platform in the middle of this
and
stand on it and suffocate to death. Because it doesn't occur to them to build the platform in order from the right.
Look, okay, when you're printed by a light bulb, you don't come out quite okay.
All this sand is piled. So the best way to do it is to chop that out, not two of them, just one. And then to chop that out, and that way they can reach all of these under things from on top and they won't fall through.
I know, I was really having trouble. So it's the Star Trek transporter where most of the pieces got to the bottom, right? Like, a little bit gets lost, but who notices?
Just saying, when you build in this game, you really have to pay attention to the fact that they are not bright. They are really not bright. They are Wile E. Coyote, for an old-fashioned reference from an old man. They are not bright. They will cut the tree behind them and fall. They will go into the room and then seal the door shut and starve to death. They just...
They are efficient, yeah.
They cannot be trusted. See, they're doing it from right to left, so you'd think, oh, they're always going to do it that way. But no, you'd be wrong in that.
Especially when you look away.
All right, so we have an empty research. This little thing says he should be researching. So we can go now. This is the cold map, and the larger battery is usually my next pick. But this larger battery produces the same amount of heat as one of the two little batteries. But it has 4 times as much space. But it's not a priority right now. The priority is this extra supercomputer, which we are going to desperately need.
Yeah.
So let's go get the supercomputer first. Alright, what do we want to do now? This is being built. We're going to need light bulbs to
gestate plants.
Because the blossom seed needs light. It will not grow in the dark. And lots of light bulbs in a cold map are a good thing. Because all of these light bulbs...
I'm really getting some insight to why you were like, I am not playing a poor metal map. Not doing it.
No, because you have to fight. You have to fight the cold with metal. You really need the metal to fight the cold. There are masochists out there who will probably want to do it the hard way.
I play however the chips fall, so I've done both.
Now they've built the understructure so I can clear out this top stuff. And he still can't do this because we need to take that
and do your settings.
Copy the settings so that he can now start filling those up.
Now, would you pop your ice right there?
Would I pop my ice? It doesn't matter whether the ice is actually going to melt slower here or faster here than it would here. It'd be nice if I could heat this somehow. Right?
Yeah.
But right now I'm sort of full on water, and if I cut this up and bring it anywhere but the water, even if I put it in the water, it's just going to freeze the water. It's not going to melt the ice.
You can't overcome the difference.
No, so right now the best thing to do is still leave it like this, but I am trying to get to the ice with something else. That's what the research right now is doing, is it's moving towards something that I can eventually get this
to address it.
To address this ice, and probably not this one because it's too far out. But at least some of the ice, and I have other ways to break the ice problem that we will get to later. But right now, the thing I really need to do is to get that, and I need to start getting I don't have a cook at this time, but I need to start getting the cook set up because I also need to set up and the mess. I need to build the mess into this section Because even if they don't have a cook, they will be happier if they have a place to eat.
I noted, I really appreciated they came up with that, where having a proper food space, I mean, even rodents like somewhere to eat that is food designated.
So again, I have this thing on top of a huge gap, and I don't have the stairs. So if somebody falls down here, they're going to starve to death until I build stairs down.
Or suffocate because they're standing in just enough carbon.
Well, there's enough air down here from all the oxalite that's naturally producing it that they won't. So I'm just going to take a hole there and a hole there and a hole there, and they'll be able to build this whole thing underneath from these 4 holes. So I'm going to put the kitchen here, and I'm going to put the mess above the kitchen, and I will just show this is a mess table. So we're going to put a bunch of mess tables here, and over here in the food, here is the electric grill. We have nobody who knows how to operate it.
Ooh, everybody stands next to their expensive barbecue. That's cool.
So we're going to then build these out, and we'll get a cook, and then that'll be fine. And we will need to set up a power for this, and we'll do all this with the next one, because we should stop. Right?
I think we should stop. I don't want to make this too deep too fast. It's a slower paced game, guys, but it would be terrible not to bring attention to it. You know my style, you know these kinds of games, and Tao's excellent at playing it, so I hate not to...
I don't think I'm excellent. I've watched guys play it online. I think I'm more deliberate and patient with it, and willing to view different things, because most of the guys online are rushing so fast to try to get to the interesting stuff. I think it's more interesting to actually build it as people would in...
I think that's what makes you good at it, though, is that there is a lack of normalcy to online playing where, I mean, there are lots of people who can play it very, very, very crazy well, and then there's the rest of us. And it's nice to see games from time to time be played in the way where if you just sat down and played today, you would achieve this without being like, I know how to get to space in the next 5 seconds, and they just plow along on their boilerplate. Like, give it a rest.
All right, I put this thing under the tile because somebody's watching this going, you never did put the thing back under the tile.
It's my favorite joke in the thing. 3 things I have to say about this. Let me name 2, and I will never tell you the third one. It's a mystery.
So this has been Tao.
Thank you so much for playing with us. I have my almost willing victim, Tao of D&D, and Gun Bunny, G.u.n.n. Bunny. Thank you so much, and have a great afternoon. Goodbye, and hopefully back to regularly scheduled programming soon. I promise. Okay, bye.